Hey 415 class, this is your music theory video for week 4. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can use your knowledge of the G major hand frame to then figure out the hand frames for several other key signatures. So we will be talking about 5 key signatures today. So G major, of course, A major, B major, F major, and D major. Okay, so first of all, of course, we have to remember the hand frame that we all know and love for G major, the G major 2-octave hand frame. Say it with me: high 2s on low strings and low 2s on high strings. Okay, now do you remember what is actually in the key signature of G major? Indeed, it is one sharp. It is F sharp is the only sharp. All of the other notes are natural, okay? So remember that because that's going to come in handy for us later in this discussion. But first I want to talk about some other hand frames just based on that G major hand frame. So the G major scale, of course, starts on open G. Now, all major scales are the same pattern. They just start on different notes. So if we were to start on 1 on the G string instead of open G, what's the name of the note that's 1 on G? Yes, of course, it's A. Okay, so if we played a scale starting on A, the A major scale, we could use the same pattern as the G major hand frame, but we would have to move everything up 1 finger or up 1 note because, of course, we've started the scale 1 note higher. So with that in mind, what do you think the hand frame is for the key of A major? It's the same as the hand frame for G major, except 1 finger higher. So it's going to be, instead of high and low 2s, it's going to be high and low 3s. So the hand frame for A major is high 3s on low strings and low 3s on high strings. Remember that low 3 is your tape for third finger. Third finger is weird. It's the only finger where the tape is the low version, okay? Now, the other thing, of course, is that in A major, all of the 2s are high, all right? So, because in G major, all of the 1s are high. So I'd like for us to try a 2-octave A major scale. So again, all high 2s and then high 3s, so above the tape on low strings, low 3s on the tape on high strings. All right, so a 2-octave A major scale will start with 1 on the G, which is, of course, the lowest A we can play on the violin, and we'll end with 3 on the E. All right, here we go. In half notes, nice and slow, 2-octave A major scale. Ready, go. Back to low 3 on the tape. Again, low 3 on the tape, but all high 2s. Going back down. Get ready for high 3 on the D. Great job, everybody. All right, so that was the A major scale. By the way, does anybody know what's in the key signature of A major? You may recall that in keys with sharps, and A is one of them, the last sharp is the 7th note of the scale. So can anybody figure out what that would be, the last sharp? What's the 7th note of the scale? A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. Okay, so we have 3 sharps in the A major scale: F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And once again, the hand frame is high threes on low strings and low threes on the tape on high strings. Cool. So do you think that we can carry this further? What about B major? What if we started on 2 on the G string? What do you think the hand frame would be for that? Yes, indeed. The hand frame would be high 4s on low strings and low 4s on high strings. Now, we're getting into kind of a funny area here. We usually say that the tape is high 4 because low 4 usually is a note that's flat. In this case, those high 4s on low strings actually have to stand in for D sharp and A sharp. So high 4 in this particular case is actually also above the tape. And then low 4 is on the tape. Just know, though, that this is kind of weird. We don't play in B major very often because it has how many sharps? F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. A sharp, of course, being just below B. A sharp just being below B. Not B sharp, sorry. A sharp being just below B. 5 sharps, that's a lot. But just for the sake of argument, because I want us to try it, we're going to try the 2-octave B major scale. So it's going to have all high 2s. It's going to have all high 3s. And high 4s actually above the 4th finger tape on the low strings. And then regular 4s on the high strings. We also are not going to use any open strings for this. Okay, so no open strings. And then high 4s on the low strings. So let's give this a try. This one is a little bit funky, and if you struggle with it, don't worry. We're just going to try it once and then move on to the next one. Let's give it a try. So high 4s on low strings, low 4s on high strings, no opens, and you start, of course, on high 2 on the G. B major. Ready? Go. High 3. High 4. Very nice. Make sure you stay in first position. No opens. Now high 3, regular 4, which is right by high 3. Again, high 3 and regular 4. And go back down. Regular 4, high 3, now high 4 above the tape, high 3, get that nice open hand frame, none of your fingers touching. Okay, good job. All right, so we made it all the way up to high and low 4s. Now, do you think we could go in the opposite direction? So open G, of course, is the lowest note on the violin, but G major uses high and low 2s. So what key do you think would use high and low 1s? It would be one note below G, and the answer is F. Now, we, of course, don't have a low F on the violin. We have to imagine that low F. So what I'm going to do, it's going to be a little weird, but I'm going to play low 2 on the D and pretend it's an octave lower, and then start on open G. So let me just show you that really quick first. So here's the first note, and then here's the second note, and then the third note. Does that make sense to everybody? So you can play that low 2 on D with me, or you can just come in on open G, which is the second note on an up bow, okay? So this is the key of F major, and it's going to have high and low 1s, okay? Remember, it's one note down from G major, so G major has high and low 2s. This is going to have high and low 1s, and all low 2s, okay? So low 2s on every string. You won't actually play 2 on the E string because low 1 on the E will be the top note of this scale, okay? So high and low 1s, all low 2s, and then third finger will be all on the tape. All right. So again, I'm going to play F an octave up because I don't have a lower F. If we had a viola, we'd have a lower F, or cello, of course, but we don't. So here's the first note, F, and then open G, up O. Now high 1 on the tape, low 2, 3, low 3 on the tape. Again, high 1, low 2. 3 on the tape. Okay, get ready for low 1s on high strings. Low 1. Open E, low 1. And this is the last note. Go back down. Play just so we get that last F. Okay, so take your violin down, shake it out a little bit, take a nice deep breath. So let's regroup just a little bit and review what we've just learned, okay? Starting with our template, because all major scales are the same set of intervals. Our template is going to be G major. And if you ever are just super lost and are having trouble figuring out a hand frame, I would strongly encourage you to just go back and remember G major, and you can start from there. So for the keys that start on the G string, so in other words, G, A, B, and then we also talked about F, one note below G, you can just go up or down those fingers from G. Okay, so G major is high 2s on low strings and low 2s on high strings. If we go up one note to A, we also go up one finger, high 3s on low strings and low 3s on high strings. If we go up another note to B, we go up another finger to 4, and we have high 4s on low strings and low 4s on high strings. Now, I'd like to point out that anytime you have a finger that has like partially high and partially low, everything below it is going to be a high finger, and then everything above it is going to be a low finger. So like in G major, right, you have high 2s on low strings and low 2s on high strings, but your 1s are all high and your 3s are all low. In A major, you have high 3s on low strings and low 3s on high strings. Your 2s are all high. We actually aren't using 4s, but it's all open strings, right? So your open strings are all the same. So in B major, when you have high and low 4s, you have all the fingers below them are high. High 1s, high 2s, and all high 3s, okay? If we go in the opposite direction, down from G major, instead of high and low 1s, we have instead of high and low 2s, we have high and low 1s, okay? And then everything above them is low. So high 1s on G and D, low 1s on A and E. All low 2s, all low 3s. Does that make sense? If not, feel free to go back and watch this again. But for a little bonus, I also want to talk about D major. Okay? Now, D, of course, you can play D with fourth finger on the G string, but then we've run out of fingers, right? B is already high and low. C, we'll worry about another day. D, we have to think about a different way. Okay, so remember at the beginning of this video when I said, remember that G major has one sharp. That's going to be important. How many sharps are in D major? Yes, 2. F sharp and C sharp. So if you think about it, the hand frame for D major and the hand frame for G major are almost identical. There's only one note that's different, and that is that you have C natural in G major, but you have C sharp in D major. So instead of thinking about high and low 2s and all of that like we were doing on the G string, forget that. Now I want you to take the G major hand frame exactly as it is. So high 2s on low strings and low 2s on high strings, and I want you to just change C to C sharp. There are 2 C's in a 2-octave scale, right? So the one we're all really familiar with is 2 on the A, right? So 2 on the A now, instead of being that low 2 of G major, we are going to have to pop it up to a high 2. Now, is 2 on the E going to change? No. 2 on the E is playing G. And in the key of D major, we still have G natural. So 2 on the E will remain low. So we can now say low 2 only on E. Don't forget, we have another C that we have to change. Where is the other C? It's third finger on the G string, right? So open G, and then 1 plays A, 2 plays B, and 3 plays C, okay? So 3 on the G string, now to change that to C sharp, we're going to have to change it to a high 3. So D major is going to be low 2 only on E, and high 2 only on G. Now, of course, we cannot play a 2-octave D major scale in first position because the highest note we can play on the E string is B. So what we're going to do is we're going to play all of the notes in first position in D major. We'll start on open D, and we'll go all the way up to 4 on the E, the note B. We'll go all the way down to open G so that we can practice that high 3 on the G string, and then back up to open D. So D, all the way up to 4 on the E, all the way down to open G, and then back up to D, okay? And if that sounds a little bit confusing, don't worry. You can watch me and listen to me do it first, and then you can rewind and try it with me once you're ready. Okay, so high 3 only on G, low 2 only on E. We'll start on open D, up to 4 on E, down to open G, and back up to open D. All right, let's give it a try. So the last thing we're going to do. Starting on open D, you ready? Go. Remember, high 2 on A. Now low 2 on E. That's as far as we can go, so turn around. Low 2. Now high 2. High 2. Now high 3 on the G. Back to open D. High 3. And end. So the point of that is to play all of the notes in first position that we can in the key of D major. And it's a little awkward, I admit, but important because that high 3 on the G is a note that we often forget when we're playing notes in D major. So great job today, everybody. We talked about the first position hand frames for G major, A major, B major, F major, and D major. That's 5 key signatures. So I'm impressed. Well done, everybody. Happy practicing. I'll see you next time.